Hello, Ms. Marilyn. How are you? I'm doing okay. Russell and I were going to draw something if he shows up. I'm eagerly awaiting for springtime to happen. I'm tired of the cold weather that we're getting here. Um, yeah, is it close? Yes, I know it's closer than Boston, but I just can't remember. All of California seems way too big, and I don't know how it all works. How your geography works. Yes, everything is so big. I spent a good deal of my day trying to clean a little bit of my house and make room, and I was somewhat successful. Yeah, I actually threw out things, threw them in the dumpster. Right in the dumpster. And when I was in the dumpster, I didn't take anything back out. Well, what I did was there was a office chair, a wooden office chair from around 1915, leather, wood, leather, wood. Well, maybe it's from the 20s. Very clunky, and it needed a bolt here, but I just took this whole thing off. So now I have a piano stool, which is a little tiny bit shorter, smaller, so it fits in my house a little bit more. But this part was thrown away. Well, it's okay if you do that. Hello, Russell. Let me invite you. We'll see what we'll draw today.
Oh, am I on?
Hello.
Hello.
Look at that. You're using a dip pen
Yes.
and
I
ink.
just bought a new set.
You bought a new pen?
Yeah, I just bought a new dip pen set, so I've been using it a little bit.
Oh, good. So you had a nice drive back.
Yeah, nothing too eventful happened. Accidents on the road, but nothing other than that.
Nothing that involved you.
Nothing that involved me, no.
Good.
I'm gonna go and get some water and some paper towels, and then I'll be
Hey,
back.
Briar Bear.
Okay.
Well, so what kind of nib is that?
This one is a crow quill,
Oh
so the
dear.
smallest kind. I'm planning on switching it up. I've got a medium and a bold right here.
Okay. Crow quills are so scratchy to me.
They are, but
But
you
that's
can
their
work things out a little bit better, and they get finer detail.
uh-huh. So what are we gonna draw today?
Is there anything you wanted to draw? Because I seem to pick about every time.
Uh let's let Ms. Marilyn or Breyer tell us what they want us to draw. How about that?
Sounds like a plan.
Breyer or Marilyn, or maybe each of you can give each of us a thing. And so what do you want us to draw?
They're thinking real hard about it.
He has to think. I'm good with that. Okay, good with that suggestion. I don't know what the what did we suggest? I was
Let's see.
was it that I said, "Oh fuck," and he wanted me to draw that? I can't remember now. That's the problem with this sort of thing. I never remember what we just talked about 2 seconds earlier.
It seems like they want a train station.
The train station in my mind.
Yeah, confirm that if you want the train station. Put a thumbs
Well,
up.
that's what they're getting, whether they like it or not.
All right, if that's what we're gonna do here. What do you think? Should I use regular black ink, or should I use terre de faux, or burnt earth or whatever?
Look at me.
Oh, there's that.
That was from an earlier thing. Oh, this is this weird paper. It's gray on one side and white on the other. I still haven't done my portrait for you yet.
Yeah, I know there is Leonardo.
And I know that you have a spot on your mantelpiece for the picture of me, I'm sure. So let's see. How would I draw a train station of my mind?
Since I already know I'm lousy at drawing train stations, I'm just going to switch right to the bold and see what happens.
Well, I'm drawing the Cubist train going. It has 3 cars on it. It has the engine and the caboose and the passenger car. And the skylighted roof here, back where when train stations were good. Here's another train over here. The things holding up the roof are spindly little columns with delicate tracery coming out of them, and so contrasting to the big butch locomotive. So here I am. I'm going down the track. My broad shoulders, my little valise, and my walking stick. How about that? Top hat. Okay. Is this going to be a private train car, do you think, that I have?
I mean, it depends on how open your mind is.
The train stations that Saul Steinberg drew are just magnificent. Do you remember those in the books I gave you?
I'm afraid not. I remember, the Saul Steinberg stuff, but I don't think I've remember seeing the train stations.
Well, they're sort of drawn the way I'm drawing them. To ride a luxury train. Oh, that sounds nice. And one in Canada and one. So one of my students, when I was a grad student, I had TAs. I was TA, and I had a student who, for someone's last project, someone drew a locomotive. And this other woman, not the artist, this other woman said, "Oh, that looks like a 687 or whatever, some technical term for this train." And I said, "Oh, how do you know so much about trains?" And she said, "Well, my dad has one in the backyard." And he actually had a steam locomotive and track in his backyard.
Was her dad Walt Disney?
No. But her dad was crazy. No. And it was in New Hampshire and or Vermont, I forget now which. And she looked me up out here after I moved here from Wisconsin, and she said, "Well, my brothers and I are laying track with my dad. Do you want to come up to the train station?" So we did. We went up there, and so it was a steam locomotive from a factory in Germany, and so it was maybe the length of a station wagon. Maybe even shorter than that. But it was a steam powered train. So you had to load it up with coal and start it on fire and let it burn and get hot. And so the boiler would boil. And the track went down a hill to the bottom of his backyard. And then it would have to back up to go back up to the top of the hill. It didn't have enough room to build a track that would go completely in a circle. And so I got to ride it had two cars. It had the engine, and then it had a flat car. And we all sat on the dad drove the train, and we all sat on the flat car, and then the brothers would get out every 20 feet or so to put out the fires that that would start on the side of the track because the coal, would, and that ashes would come out of the thing and they would dribble out and start fires.
Right.
So anyway, uh, let me while you're drawing in perspective, of course. You've got your ruler there,
Yep.
and you're being very brave using an ink pen against a ruler like that without having
I
the
know.
ink bleed underneath. I'll be right back. I'm going to get a Saul Steinberg book with train station.
All right. I guess it's up to me to entertain the masses. We're all doomed. Well, I went to where did I go? I went to the University of Virginia just for the past few days, and I was giving a sort of not a sort of presentation, a sort of a lecture. It was on the illustrator Heinrich Clay. And before I started, I made sure to let the people know I was the last presentator, and I made sure to tell them right before I started. You haven't seen the circus till you've seen the clown. So that was my perspective on it. I think they enjoyed the talk. They didn't throw nothing at me. Let's see here. Pierre's right about this perspective thing. Oh, there we go. Right there. You see that dripping there?
What did you do?
Oh, I just dripped all over the page there. But that's what I get, I suppose.
So here's a Saul Steinberg train station.
Oh, wow.
And then here's a Saul Steinberg bridge with a train on it. But look at that bridge. It's like a spider web. A spider made it. And then you've got this honking train. But aren't they great?
They are. I mean, they're really, for lack of a better word, they are very mechanical. They're really focused on just a dead line.
And look at all those bridges. Should I do this in my bathtub? Except have it be a guy?
I mean, that would be a good decoration, I should think.
No, Saul Steinberg is absolutely perfect. Look at his cowboys with all of their spurs that jingle, jangle, jingle.
That's wonderful.
Okay, back to my train. Okay.
So I left the crow quill at this point, and I'm actually using a calligraphy pen nib.
Okay. So where's your Waterman?
Right here, actually.
Oh, good. I just want to make sure that
I wasn't stupid and lost it yet.
That you weren't stupid and lost it yet.
One day it'll happen, but hopefully you'll be dead before then, so you won't get angry at me.
I promise that if you lose that Waterman pen, I will come back to life, and you
See,
will.
that's sort of what I was afraid of because I know you would do it.
Yes, I would. There would be a way for me to return and forever haunt you. So Leonardo was gonna do a self-portrait for you too.
Yeah, I asked him to actually do a portrait of me,
Oh,
but of course, he hasn't gotten around to it.
I didn't realize that he was artistic.
Oh, he's not.
Okay.
his mom, his mom. We had this discussion, and his mom was there and talked to me a bit, and uh, he asked her, do you think I would be able to do a drawing of Russell?" And she just sort of shakes her head a little bit and smiles, and she says, "When he was young, he might have been able to accomplish something, but now it's too late.
Now he's just
Now it's too far gone in the realm of artistic endeavors, I suppose."
I see. So what do you think about that, Briar? Let's see if I can do another one.
The only problem I have with these pens is that they don't hold on to enough ink for my taste sometimes.
Well, that's why I don't use them either. I use fountain pens because
Fair enough.
they have all the ink you need right then and there. So we'll try it on this paper. This is KNE logarithmic paper that was supposed to be used for creating atomic weapons or something. So oh, that's nice of you. Well, if I have this picture the next time you visit me, you can have that too if you want, Briar. This doesn't look like a train station. I'll make a calligraphic train. How about that? Uh-oh. I smeared as well.
It's inevitable. When you're working fast, you take big risks.
The roof on this cab is very, I don't know what they call that, a duckbill. No, that's it looks like a panache there with a feather. Okay, now let's get my this little rubbery Tombow thing without any ink is just allowing me to fuck it up. Sometimes you need the right tool to fuck it up,
Yeah.
and this is the right tool.
What are those rubbery Tombow things supposed to be for anyway?
They remind me of those little rubber things you see on the back of some toothbrushes. You know, the gum massager. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I mean, I was wondering whether there was any intended use for them or whether you were using it the way they were intended to be used.
I think they're meant to be like a brush, but again, they don't really work like a brush. Okay, well, I look forward to repairing that pen that exploded.
Oh dear.
I'm using a highlighter just to see what happens now. Here's another way for me to fuck up a drawing.
Well, I've found, or at least I've used highlighters before to make artwork. They're okay, you know.
Well, they highlight. In this case, it's taking the Waterman Black, the Tombow Gray, and this Sanford Accent fluorescent yellow, and turning it into sort of a pukey color. How about that? Well, I think you should come sooner than next year, Briar Bear. You know, now that I don't bite hard.
He's lying.
I didn't bite you that hard. You still have the scar.
You had to give me 3 stitches instead of 4 like you thought, huh?
Yes. Well, I'm just ruining this drawing, but I'm having a fun time ruining it.
Yes. You just ruin it until it starts to not be ruined anymore.
That's true. I mean, there's only an amount where it gets worse and worse and worse, and then it stops getting worse and it gets better, because at that point you're slowly destroying the hideous thing you made. So I think in this case I've gone past that point, and now anything that I do makes it less ugly because it's essentially destroying what I've started with. And what are you writing on with now? Just a brush? One of those water brushes?
One of the water brushes, yeah. They come in handy for certain things. There's the wash I've got going right now that I've been using to clean my ink pen is so weak that you can just barely make out that I'm putting anything in. But you know, them's the breaks. That's how it turns out in the wash, as it were. Yeah, I know. That's
I'm just looking at.
That's his reaction to all my puns, folks.
No, I'm sorry. I try it again. Try your pun again. I will listen to it this time. I just got a text.
Oh, they're not going to listen to him. I'm not even going to make them. Forget it.
No,
I
you
don't
can
provide
make
entertainment for free. I only do things for attention.
I see.
That's why I break stuff in stores and whine when they don't buy me a candy bar.
I see. Oh. Well, one of my neighbors brought me some food by my door. She takes care of her aging parents, and they get food deliveries from Meals on Wheels or something, and they don't eat all of it. So they're brought to me, and I consume them. With
Is Meals on Wheels any good?
no,
Oh,
but it's easier than going out, and it's certainly cheaper going out. So,
fair enough.
and they have sort of a pasta salad, and if I dump a bunch of dressing on it, it's swallowable. One can swallow it.
Right. Well, you have to remember that these are meals not necessarily made for like octogenarians and such.
Yes, and I'm almost there. So,
Yeah, not yet.
not yet. Okay, let me get the food and put it in the refrigerator. I'll be right back.
Good idea. So now you're left to suffer through my rants again. How are we feeling today? I'm not sure how I'm feeling. I should probably be doing, like actual schoolwork, but there you go. I prefer to do this instead. This is much more engaging.
I have returned.
Hopefully the food will be good for however long you need it to be good for.
Well, it's I don't know if it was in the back of the car or in the freezer, but it's all frozen, so it'll thaw out at some point. And there's actually another person in my building who also gets Meals on Wheels, and this woman helps her with that. And so I actually have a lot of food from that drop off.
I think my grandpa got Meals on Wheels for a little while.
Uh-huh.
He didn't like it.
No, they're not very good, but they provide, I'm sure, the minimal amount to make you survive a little longer.
And that's what we need to be giving the old people, just the minimum amount to let them survive.
Well, you want them to have the minimum amount so that they live long enough to get out of the system that you're dealing with. They don't want to be responsible, of course, but if they can keep you going until you go into the hospital for some other problem, then that's what they want.
Yes.
They're not looking for a place in the Michelin guide.
No, I mean at that age one can hardly taste.
So I'm just looking at this train reminded me of one of my neighbors that used to live in the building. Her name was Svetlana,
I feel like I remember you mentioning this neighbor before.
and
I met her.
her 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 father was an animator, Alexiev.
Huh. What did he do? I mean, what did he animate?
I'll show you. Alexiev. The animation of Alexiev. What he does is he uses sand. He uses sand. So look at this picture.
Okay.
That's all done with sand. And then he pushes the sand around. So it's like graphite dust.
Jeez. Where was he from? Do you remember?
Well, he's from Russia.
Yeah, I mean, leave it to the Russians and the Eastern Europeans to come up with all these convoluted ways of doing animation.
Let me just.
I think it's the weather over there. I think I just think they just have the time inside to spend all day doing these crazy things.
So let me read you his name. Alexander Alexandrovich Alexiev. So each of his three names starts with A-L-E-X. Alexander Alexandrovich Alexiev was a Russian Empire-born artist, filmmaker, and illustrator who lived and worked mainly in Paris. Invented the pin screen as well as the animation technique totalization. What the hell does that mean?
Well, I think it seems to refer to a totalizing element, to something that makes.
Okay, Alexiev is most famous for his invention of the pin screen, which he used to make about 6 short films. So about 6. Does that mean he made 5? Or, I mean,
Maybe
can't they count
like
to 6? They could say about
50
films, but about 6 seems like they could do the math. The pin board on which Alexiev created his extraordinary black and white films is an upright perforated board, 3 by 4 feet, into which 1,000,000 headless steel pins were inserted. So you know that type?
No, I've never heard of that type before.
So when the pins are pushed forward and lighted obliquely, they create an entirely black surface on the front of the pin board. When they are pushed back, the white of the board shows through. In between, it makes various shades of gray. Okay, so maybe that was what it was. I thought that
it was sand, but it turns out it was.
I thought it was sand, but it was. Alexiev never made sketches before he created the images on the screen. He conceived each of the stages of the positive side of the screen, while Claire worked on the back side of it.
Claire being his wife?
His second wife, yes.
Okay. The first one got tired of animating and decided to leave him.
Yes. Let me. I think he also designed posters.
Well, I mean, with animation processes that slow, you got to do something to make.
See this one. This one. See this poster here.
Mm-hmm.
The Scotsman, the Flying Scotsman. That was the Night Scotsman. That's the one he designed. Um, so it's very this poster he designed without the pin screen. Anyway, his daughter Svetlana lived in my building for a while, and her last name was Rockwell. She's probably dead by now. Svetlana Rockwell. Well, this doesn't have anything. Oh, I'm looking under eBay. Stupid. Ugh.
Yeah, you might not find her being sold on eBay unless something really terrible's.
So here's Svetlana, my old neighbor. She was born in 1923 and she died in 2015. Svetlana Alexiev Rockwell. And she exhibited, let's see what kind of art she did. I can't remember anything about her artwork. Anyway. Well, I like you have sort of a subway train idea going on there.
Yes. The confines of my mind are, even beneath the gutter.
Okay. My battery on this device is at 3% and it's plugged in, but it's not charging. It's only getting worse.
I see.
But Santa Ana Depot. Well, here, very nice.
Oh.
Thank you for playing this game. And I see what the Santa Ana Depot looks like. Very nice. Thank you. And then show the other one. What other one? You sent me, did you send me two? Sent a photo. Oops. Come on. Why does it keep wanting to go to vanish mode? Ugh. Hate this. Find you again. Vanish mode, it says. Press to turn off vanish mode. Okay, I'm pressing to turn it off. I don't understand.
I don't think I've ever heard of vanish mode.
It's something you can do. Oh, okay, now it's staying. So you sent me two pictures. Okay, so you got the photograph, the image of the train station. Is that a photograph or a painting? And then you have your version of it, which is down here. Comparing and contrasting. Oh, wow. Okay. I see your stairwell more clearly than I do in the other image. Very good. Now I'm at 2%. I think I have to stop now, Russell, before this stops automatically.
All
It was
right.
good seeing you, Ms. Marilyn. Post or send me the picture of your train station so I can see what it looks like. And then Briar, it's nice seeing you. Let's plan on a thing, and I'll see you all later.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.